Brazen bull. It was around 600 BC in Sicily, and this man, Phalaris, was thinking of a new way to torture people. He was said to be a cruel tyrant. Some even say he was cannibal and used to eat small suckling kids. He was fond of torturing people and used to take pleasure from their screams. He ran out of torture ideas and asked a sculptor named Perillus to create something that would amaze him. Perillus then started working on that job and created a bronze bull. After a few days, he presented the bull to the king. The bull was constructed in such a way that the bull was hollow inside and there was a small door in its belly. The accused would be shoved inside that hollow belly through that small door. Then the door would be closed, and the fire was lit under the bull. The heat would start roasting the body and the victim would scream loudly. A contraption was made in the bull's neck that would turn human scream into the bellowing sound of a bull. The smoke would come out of its nose. The sound and smoke would make it look like an angry bull ready for a fight. The king was happy to hear it. And to test its efficacy, he threw Perillus himself inside the bull and roasted him. The bull passed the test. The king was insanely overjoyed and started torturing all condemned with the bull. But as we know, what goes around comes around. A few years later, some leader named Telemachus overthrew him from throne and roasted Phalaris in the same brazen bull. Rat torture. This torture method was widely practiced in England from around 5th to 15th century, and few records show it being practiced in Rome and few other cultures too. But at later dates, the London Tower, renowned as a notorious prison and place of execution, was a frequent site for this execution. It was mostly used as a method of extracting confession from the criminals and accused ones. The rats would be kept hungry for a few days before performing this torture. The hunger made the rats aggressive, and the torture would be more brutal. There were two different ways of applying this torture. The first way is to keep the rat in a metal bowl. The bowl is then placed inverted in the belly of the accused. Then the fire was lit at the top of the bowl and heat the chamber. The rat would start burning and try to escape from that place. With no place to go, it would start burrowing a hole in the stomach. Then it would enter the body, slowly ripping and destroying the organs. The unsettling pain would be extreme, and almost all of those would die in agony. Even the wife of King Henry VIII was given this torture. The second method is said to exist at the same time. It was done for treason and crimes against royals. For this method, a pipe would be inserted in the rear end of the accused. A hungry and irritated rat was inserted in the opening of the pipe, and the pipe was sealed. The rat would enter the body from anus and gradually carve its path upwards. It would eat the criminal from inside and would get out from the mouth. There has not been sufficient proof of this method, but some writings suggest it was practiced secretly. A lot of secrets have been buried in this horrific place, I guess. The rack. This gruesome torture method was used in medieval period from the 5th century, but was widespread in Europe during the Inquisition period, from the 12th to the 15th century. It's simply a stretching technique, but the stretch goes beyond the imagination. This was used to extract confession or to gain the information from the enemy members. It consisted of a wooden plank or a few rolling woods where the victim was confined. The hands and legs of the victim would be tied by ropes or chains, and the victim was asked numerous questions. For every silence or false answer, the wheel would be rotated. Every rotation of the wheel would slowly stretch the body, putting pressure on wrists, shoulders, waists, and ankles. The body was stretched to such lengths that the muscles would tear, joints would dislocate, and the victim would suffer the excruciating pain. Few would die in the process, but believe me, those were the lucky ones. If someone would survive the torture, they would be set free. By free, I mean thrown to the woods or a deserted place. Without any working joints and torn muscles, the person would go into paralysis. Some would try to move with intense pain, while others would wait for their deaths with hunger and thirst. In any way, no one would survive more than a few days. If you ask me, that's literally a lengthy way to die. Lingqi. This form of torture is believed to have started from China, Lingqi or Qiandao Wangua. In English translation, death by 1,000 cuts is a method where a criminal accused of treason or rebellion is cut hundreds of times by a small knife or a blade. The accused was first tied to a pole on the street or public area for all to see. To prevent the accused from instant death, a professional executioner was called. The executioner would then start to make small cuts without damaging the vital organs. The cuts are made in such a way that it hurts like hell, but the victim won't die. The wound from hundreds of cuts will traumatize the victim, and the agony of pain would be beyond compare. The process was continued for as long as the criminal was alive. Sometimes it took a few hours and sometimes even a few days for the criminal to die. It was to show what would happen if anyone spoke against the empire or tried to cheat the ruler. The dates and time frame differ among the records, but this torture method supposedly lasted for around 600 years, from 800 to 200 BC. If you have watched my previous video, you may know this guy, Qin Shi Huang. He was among those who supported this torture method. In fact, this guy has been involved in so many things that you will definitely hear his name in future videos as well.